Hello, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to Laex Prelims Marathon series. In today's session, we are going to discuss the important indices and reports that are in use. The PDF of the series and this video is uploaded in the description. Please check that once. There are hundreds of indices and reports that are in use, but we are going to take up the important ones. Now let's start the discussion. The first important indicator is Human Development Index. Human Development Index considers three important components. One, health. Second one, education. Third, standard of living. Health is measured through life expectancy at birth. Education is measured through expected and mean years of schooling. And standard of living is measured through gross national income, GNI per capita, at PPP, purchasing power terms. This index is part of Human Development Report. Human Development Report is released annually by United Nations Development Program. This year, that is for the last year 2019, we have got 129th rank among 189 countries. Earlier we were at the place of 130th. Now we have improved one rank and we got 129th rank. The second important index is Gender Inequality Index. Gender Inequality Index is also part of Human Development Report released by UNDP, United Nations Development Program. Three basic components are there: reproductive health of women, empowerment, labor market participation. These are three components that are considered under this index. In general, in our UPSC examination, they ask which of the following are not part while calculating this index, or which of the following are part for are components of this particular index. Like that, questions can be asked, or they can give statements. Gender Inequality Index is released by, for example, let's say if they give the statement World Bank, that statement becomes incorrect. And they also mention the rank. That's why remembering the ranks also is important. Human Development Report. And for the year 2019, India got 122nd rank out of 162 countries. Third important indicator or index is Gender Development Index. This index considers two important aspects: life expectancy, adult literacy, school enrollment, and logarithmic transformation of per capita income. These two components are considered under Gender Development Index. It is also calculated under UNDP in the same report, Human Development Report, and India got 153rd rank last year. This year, the Human Development Report has not been out. That's why we are taking up the numbers of last year. The next important index is Gross Happiness Index. Gross Happiness Index is very, very important. It is released by the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, SSDN. This is for under United Nations. This considers six important components. One, income. Second one, freedom to make life choices. Third one, trust. Fourth, healthy life expectancy. Fifth one, social support systems. And finally, generosity. These are the six components under Gross Happiness Index, and India got 144th rank. In 2019, we got 140th rank, and now we went down 4 ranks. Now this year, 144th rank. Gross Happiness Index. Now, Sustainable Development Index, there are 17 sustainable developmental goals under UNDP. This is under UNDP, 17 sustainable developmental goals that are adopted in the year 2015. So to calculate and to compare how many countries reached which of the goals, etc., under UN there is this network called Sustainable Development Solutions Network. This has developed this index, Sustainable Development Index, based on these 17 indicators, 17 goals. So India got 117th rank out of 193 countries under UNDP. 117th rank. That means we are far away from reaching the sustainable developmental goals. Next important indicator is Corruption Perception Index. Corruption Perception Index is released by the Transparency International. It is not an intergovernmental organization, but it is a NGO, non-governmental organization. It combines 13 surveys of assessment for the corruption and then releases the ranking. Out of 180 countries, India got 80, rank 80 last year. So there are many people who criticize the assessment of Transparency International, but then this is considered one of the authenticate surveys. That's why we consider this as important. Next important indicator is Democracy Index. This index is released by EIU, Economist Intelligence Unit. This is not an intergovernmental organization, but it's a private organization. It uses 5 components: electoral process and pluralism, civil liberties, functioning of government, political participation, political culture. These 5 are studied and given the rank. India got 51st rank out of 165 countries. This is an improvement. Eighth one is Multidimensional Poverty Index. Multidimensional Poverty Index is also part of Human Development Report. This is released by the UNDP, United Nations Development Programme. It considers health, education and standard of living as the measures to consider the poverty. There is a line called poverty line. Poverty line is just a monetary indicator. Here, Multidimensional Poverty Index considers health and education along with the growth, that is per capita. That's why this is important. And 28, according to this particular index, 28% of people in India are poor. The next important index is Global Innovation Index. Global Innovation Index is released by WIPO, World Intellectual Property Rights Organization. In the year 2020, India got 48th rank out of 131 countries. There's a huge improvement in this ranking in the last 5 years. So it considers 7 pillars of innovation. 1 is human capital, 2 research, 3 market sophistication, 4 knowledge, 5 technology outputs, 6th one creative output, and finally infrastructure. India is lagging behind in infrastructure, human capital. There are few components where India is lagging behind. These are few of the components, but overall it considers 7 pillars or seven components and then gives out the ranking. WIPO, World Intellectual Property Rights Organization. India got 48th rank. Now, International Intellectual Property Index. This is given by US Chamber of Commerce Global Innovation Policy Center. US Chamber of Commerce is something like our FICCI. So it's a private organization which has this particular policy center which researches on various issues, and this has released this particular index in International Intellectual Property Index 2020. In this it maps 53 global economies representing 90% of global GDP. It maps various indices, and then recently we got 40th rank out of 53. Earlier we were at 30th position. Now we got 40th position. But in general, why do we consider this seriously? This is one small organization. It is giving this index. Why are we considering it seriously? Because USA is one of India's trade partners. Based on this ranking, investment etc. varies. That's why this is important. The next index is Global Climate Risk Report. Global Climate Risk Report. This report is released by the German Watch. This is an NGO. This has studied the impact of climate change over many countries in the last 20 years from 1999 to 2018, and then it has given the ranking. Out of total 181 countries, India is in top 5. India is at the 5th position. Earlier we were in 12th position, 13th position, like that. But now in the latest one, last year's report said that India is 5th most affected economy in the world with regard to climate change. The worst affected countries in 2018. So in 2019 they released this, but they have calculated the data of 2018. That's why. Worst affected countries in 2018 are Japan, Philippines and Germany, top 3. Worst affected countries between 1999 to 2018 are Puerto Rico, Myanmar and Haiti. Very important. India is at 5th position. Let's understand India's position Global Climate Risk Index. India is at 5th position. First three places Japan, Philippines, Germany. 4th position Madagascar. And Sri Lanka is behind us. Kenya, Rwanda, Canada, Fiji. These are top 10 countries which have high vulnerability and which have experienced high losses during last few years. And then Global Innovation Index. Global Innovation Index, as we said, considers 7 pillars, 7 points: knowledge, technology outputs, market sophistication, business sophistication, human capital, institutions, creative output, and infrastructure. Out of these things, see, infrastructure, here we are lagging, creative outputs we are lagging. Total we got 48th rank. In 2015, our rank was 81. And now last year we got 52. This year 48. There is a huge improvement in this ranking. Okay, the next important indicator is Human Capital Index. Human Capital Index, this index is released by the World Bank. It considers 3 parameters. First one is survival, measured by under 5 mortality. Expected years of quality adjusted schooling is measured by quantity and quality of education. Health environment, measured by the adult survival rate. See, these 3 points are similar to Human Development Index, yes or no? But there's a major difference. In Human Development Index, we have per capita income. But here we don't have per capita income, we have survival rate. And Human Development Index is released by UNDP. And this Human Capital Index is released by the World Bank. And last year we got 115 rank out of 157. The next important index is Global Competitiveness Index. This is released by the World Economic Forum. This is one of the most repeated questions in UPSC. This World Economic Forum considers state of infrastructure, institutions, macroeconomic stability, ability to adapt to new technology. These 4 components to calculate global competitiveness. Last year we got 68th rank out of 141 economies. Global Competitiveness Index by World Economic Forum. The next important index is Ease of Doing Business Index. This year World Bank has not released the Ease of Doing Business. It said there are certain data inconsistencies. But let's understand last year's data. Last year we got 63rd rank out of 190 countries. World Bank considers 10 components to measure the Ease of Doing Business Index. Ease of starting business, ease of getting electricity, dealing with construction permits, registering property, protecting investors, access to credit, trading across borders, paying taxes, enforcing contracts, and resolving insolvency. See, World Bank in Ease of Doing Business report, it considers the 11th parameter, that is labor reforms or labor enforcement, labor laws and labor reforms. In report, it discusses about this, but while calculating the ranking in this index, we consider only 10 parameters. Since 2014, we improved in this ranking 142. Earlier our rank was 142. Now we are at 63rd position. But we are performing badly in certain areas, protecting minority investors, getting credit, enforcing contracts, especially in enforcing contracts, we are performing badly. The next important and the last indicator out of the international reports and indicators is Environmental Performance Index 2020. Environmental Performance Index 2020 is released by the World Economic Forum but is calculated by Yale University and Columbia University. Important? World Economic Forum Global Environment Performance Index. Similar index we have studied. What is that? Global Climate Risk Report. That is by an NGO called German Watch. Okay. Environmental Performance Index 2020. In this index, 32 indicators are covered and 10-year trends was understood. Based on that, this is the 12th edition of this particular index, and India got 168th position out of 180 countries. That's why it is said that in Environmental Performance Index, India has achieved very poorly. Don't get confused with Environmental Performance Index with Global Climate Risk Index. Both are different. Now let's understand India-specific indices and reports. These are important. Most of them are released by the Niti Aayog. Let's understand each one of them. School Education Quality Index, SEQI. School Education Quality Index considers 30 critical indicators to assess the delivery of quality of education. This index is released by the Niti Aayog. It was first launched in the year 2018. So this year 2020, Kerala has topped this particular index. UP is at the bottom level. Next important index is Export Preparedness Index, EPI. This is the first time Niti Aayog has published this report. Export Preparedness Index, this is an index. This index is first published in 2020. Gujarat is top performing state under this particular index. It considers policy ecosystem, export ecosystem, business ecosystem, export performance as the 4 components and gives the rankings. Niti Aayog calculates it. Remember, Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog Export Preparedness Index, Gujarat got first rank. After that, Maharashtra. After that, Tamil Nadu. Top 3 states we need to remember. Next one is Composite Water Management Index 2.0. That means this is the second edition of Composite Water Management Index. In the year 2018, Niti Aayog has released Composite Water Management Index 1.0. That is the first edition. It considers 28 different indicators like groundwater, restoration of water bodies, irrigation, etc. And Niti Aayog, along with Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Rural Development, releases this particular index. Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh have managed water resources efficiently under this recent index, Composite Water Management Index 2019. Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh achieved better water resource management under this. Let's understand the School Education Quality Index. As we said, this was launched in the year 2018. So the data of this particular one is calculated by Niti Aayog, and World Bank is also part of calculating the quality education. Overall performance of this year is calculated and report is released last year. Overall performance of 16-17, the data is available of that year. So in that year, among the large states which are performing well, Kerala, Rajasthan, Karnataka, these are performing well. And which are performing worst? Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, large states. Among the smaller states, Manipur, Tripura, Goa are performing good. Sikkim, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh are performing badly. Among the union territories, Chandigarh, Dadar Nagar Haveli, Delhi, these are performing well. Of course, now Dadar Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, these are merged. Earlier when they gave this ranking, these two were different. Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweeps, these 3 were performing worse. So this is School Education Quality Index. This was released only once in 2018. They have calculated data of 2016 and 17 and they have released it. And there's one more index, Composite Water Management Index. Among them, see, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh performed well. Northeastern states, Himalayan states, Himachal Pradesh performed well. Among union territories, Puducherry performed well. Only 4 states are high scoring states or high performing states, and most of the states are medium performing and others are low performing states. The 3 states are high performing states, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and in Northeast and Himalayan state category, Himachal Pradesh comes as a high performing state. So overall 4 states are high performing states under Composite Water Management Index. Next important index is India Innovation Index. India Innovation Index is based on 7 pillars. We have read about these 7 pillars. While calculating Global Innovation Index, we said WIPO takes into account the 7 pillars. Same 7 pillars are taken into account, and out of them 5 are enablers and 2 are performance indicators, such as these things. And Niti Aayog releases this index in India. Karnataka is the top performing states in India Innovation Index 2019. Agricultural Marketing and Farmer Friendly Reforms Index. This was released in 2016, after that not updated. This is on implementation of agricultural marketing reforms. This was released by the Niti Aayog. It said that Maharashtra is performing well. And recently, Ease of Agribusiness Index. See, we have Ease of Doing Business Index. That's for industries, but this is for agriculture. This was proposed in 2018 and released last year by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. This is very important. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare released this particular index, Ease of Agribusiness Index. But Agricultural Market and Farmer Friendly Reforms Index is released by the Niti Aayog. In both of them, Maharashtra topped the list. Remember, that's important. Now, SDG India Index was released first time in 2018 and second time in the last year, 2019. This is to measure the progress of Indian states in achieving the 17 goals of SDGs. This is released by the Niti Aayog. Let us understand what are the components in it. Before that, let us understand the states that are performing well in India Innovation Index. This is regarding India Innovation Index. This is regarding Agriculture and Market Friendly Reforms Index. Karnataka topped, second position is in Tamil Nadu is second position, Maharashtra third position. So here Maharashtra is in the top position, Gujarat, Rajasthan are next to it. With regard to this SDG India Index, Niti Aayog has categorized the states into 4 categories. 1. Aspirant category, 2. Performer category, 3. Front runner category, 4. Achiever category, based on the achievement of the 16 goals. We said there are 17 goals under SDG. Last one is on international collaboration. As that is not applicable to the states, we are considering only 16 goals. In 2018 index, we considered only 13, but in 2019, 16 goals are considered. Under that, there are many targets. So, based on the score of various states, these are categorized like this. There is no achiever state as of now, but there are many front runner states. Let us understand. Kerala topped in the SDG India Index. Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka, Goa, Sikkim. These are in which category? Front runner category. After that, many states are in performer category. In 2018 index, there were 3 states which were under aspirant category, but in the latest index 2019, bottom 5 states also crossed this stage, aspirant stage, and all of them are in performer stage. See, Bihar was last in the 2018 index, but now it is in the performer category, 50. Means performer category. The next important framework or ranking is National Institutional Ranking Framework. It is released by the Ministry of Education, earlier called as Ministry of Human Resource and Development. This is the 5th year of ranking. They have started it in 2015 and this is the 5th year. It is to enhance the quality in higher education. It focuses on outcomes. It strengthens the institutional structures. Let us understand which institutions performed good in this particular index, but let us complete the 2 more indices first and then we will go to the next slide to discuss on which institutions performed better. Okay, Broadband Readiness Index. This is still at the formulation stage, Department of Telecom and Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations, both together are preparing this particular index. This is to calculate the percentage of households using computers, etc. Internet users as a percentage of population, smartphones density. They are using many indicators and they want to prepare this particular index. They have not yet released it out. They are still preparing. But it is in news, that's why we are reading it. Next one and the final one in this is Business Reform Action Plan. Business Reform Action Plan. Ministry of Commerce and Industry launched it and AP has performed very well in this. And then these are the focus areas: access to information and technology, setting up single window system, construction permit enablers, and land administration. Based on these things, business reform action plan was implemented in 2018. This was proposed 2019 last year. Again, the rankings were released. AP topped both the times. This is NIRF ranking. NIRF ranking, as we said, considers 5 parameters: teaching, learning, resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, perception. These are 5 parameters which are considered under NIRF. IIT Madras has topped this year. IISc Bangalore is in second position. The 3 top ranked universities are IISc, JNU and BHU universities. And 3 top ranked colleges are Mirinda House, Lady Sri Ram College for Women, Hindu College. These 3 are part of Delhi University. Important. So we said business reform action plan, right? So these are 10 achievers under business reform action plan. AP topped in the list. UP and Telangana are in the second and third position. So this is about India's important indicators. We have discussed 15 important international indicators and reports and 9 important indices and reports of India. So total 19 we have discussed. The PDF of the same is available in the description. Please check that once. All the very best. Thank you very much.